morning, good morning, good morning, and I'll say welcome to America, as so many people have chosen not to engage in this thing we call life, as there is a choice in life to pay attention, to participate, to choose to obligate yourself to the happenings around you. And so many people have chosen just to ignore, as their personal responsibility is not their liberty, and as it has nothing to do with who they are. Understand me when I say that freedom has never been free. And what does freedom look like you? Understand. What can I say? I have no idea. I do, however, understand that living here in Nevada has taught me a few things I perhaps have taken advantage of, and as I've taken advantage of them, you need to understand. I understand there is a cost to being ignorant, living in the 24th century. As we are all Americans, the personal obligation to understand that looking around, we have a responsibility to the youngest and the neediest of children. Yet and still, when you look around, your state perhaps does not even have the basic data that would demonstrate that a reasonable offer of a minimal offer of free and appropriate just doesn't exist. And I'm just trying to understand how you thrive in that type of situation. It is true, we all have choice. We all have trials and tribulations, things that we're going through that others may not be going through. And just what does that look like? Matters. It matters where you are. It matters what you've done, because it makes a difference as to your position in life. And I do understand my position in life is a benefit. Good morning. This is just an application that allows us to come into one house to share concepts and ideals, but the reality is that we're not prepared to move forward in life if we don't know where we are as a people. So all of the events in the upcoming near future is an opportunity to get into the room and share your concerns as people who are your age. What are they doing? Mm-hmm. You too can share the app and get people that you know in the room to start the conversation, but really it is to just begin the conversation. Push that little plus button at the top. You too can talk. I'm going to share it for a minute. I can only share in certain places because right now I'm banned. 6 days on Facebook, and I think I'm banned until the 11th or so on that other app, Neighborhood. But they're just limiting the ability to engage with people, to spark their mind, to think outside the box, because outside the box is where we all live ultimately. Were you aware that the NAACP conference is here next week let me see. Let me see if I can share it. I have to go here. Go here. Let me see. I thought I took a picture of it. Let me see. Let's see it. Let me see. Is that the convention? I think so. There you go. I shared it. Now you can figure it out. Has a phone number to call and everything. I would call, just to see if I could get free admission. That's what I plan on doing today, because I have no money to be paying them to attend a workshop, or I would just like to meet with a few people in the room. So, to begin the conversation, as it is the year of 2024, and for K through 3, as these are mandatory attendance years, we don't know where our children are. But what we do know is dollars are set aside in the community for each subgroup of people, and that's where race factors in. Simply because then they have to count the number of people who are prepared to enter into early start. Oh yeah, which reminds me, I should share that conference information with Suddenly, because I haven't talked to her yet. Let me see. I know how to do so. I'm going to shrink you for a minute. And I go here. And then here. And I go here. I go to the photos. I think I did that. Oh. hmm I didn't know if you were cut out or not, because I got a phone call. And when you get a phone call, I didn't know if you could hear or not, because sometimes you can. Maybe it's over what network that you're streaming on. Ooh. Here, just chill with some music for a minute. I'm going to share something else here. Hmm. I'm looking for something. That's fair. Mhm.
Hello, hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
We are doing well. I am doing well. Got a guest with me,
Do you really?
Mary. Yeah, Miss Isom, Mary Isom's here.
Oh,
But
awesome.
awesome, yes. And some interesting information that you've been putting out about identifying the Fed. Some of these departments and what their obligations are
I mean,
is
but
interesting.
our obligation is just to understand that it is our responsibility to understand how this country works. And we're really just now coming into play. That's my son's book right there. I posted
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And so I
Awesome.
want, huh? I mean,
I
because,
said awesome.
but,
Yeah.
but he just needs to understand that, we're in control of our own journey. This is us. And if we're not having a conversation in regards to where we are with amongst us, the NAACP is having their conference here next weekend.
Oh, that should be a big deal.
Well, it should be, but I mean, I just never heard of it. I mean, then I went back and looked at my email. My sister sent it to me, and I guess I had gotten notice, but but just there's a cost. I don't have any money, but I certainly want to meet with some people that are coming here
Mm,
because there are people that are certain levels, and we're all leveled out, right? Where we
yeah,
are is where we're supposed to be, period. And God has
yes.
given you the tools necessary to operate in the spirit where you should be operating. You just have to step up and do it. If you
Yeah,
believing in yourself, huh?
that's very interesting. And
You
I'm
you
trying to,
saying you
I
saying
try
it's
to get
interesting, but
away.
but you do understand that everything is about what you know already. Nothing about what you don't know.
Right. I understand that. I'd like to think that perception is king on that, but nonetheless, everything is really subjective. What works for one party might not work for the other party.
And that's how
But
come you listen. That's how come you listen. Because you
exactly,
just need to understand how they approach the problem and then approach it with your skill level.
right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
because you're the one that has the different set of tools. You know,
Yeah, everybody has their own tools.
yeah,
Well, Miss Anderson, it's Marianne, his mother. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? I'm so blessed. I mean,
I'm
you're blessed too because you have a very gifted child with everything that
I
you've
don't
given
say
him,
those things.
huh?
don't want to waste any of his goodness on frivolous chasing
But
demons,
I mean, but you say
running
it's
into
frivolous,
fire, jumping out of
but you
places.
do understand we've been unsuccessful as to where we are. And so there's got to be something that does
I
work.
used to work. I used to work with
Right, I
in
agree.
the SCLC as their public relations director down in Atlanta.
Mm,
Hosea Williams.
mm.
I
You know,
used to work
my
there.
children, both of my children were living in Atlanta for a minute, and they were making lots of money, but they were doing scandalous stuff, whatever was able to. But when you're not on task and when you're leaning to your own understanding is where you are. But then when you start having children and you have an obligation to those children, then you have to make life better for them. And so we have to do different things. And so I'm
I
blessed.
mean, well, I'm glad you are, and I know you are, and
hmm
I'm glad you can recognize it every day.
I mean, that's what we
You
have to
know,
be
people
grateful for
got
the
to take
gift.
time.
My sister keeps on telling me,
Yeah,
Darlene,
you're
you don't understand. We don't have a day to waste. And you know why? Because tomorrow's not promised,
right.
and it ain't never been promised.
Yeah,
And that's why I know that
the attitude.
it's a perception. You said it when you got up here. You
Yeah,
can only
yeah,
you can only see what you have saw, and then you have to make sense of it with what you're experiencing.
exactly.
And
I
so
think people find what they look for.
every day,
Yeah,
every day. But I mean, the most awesome thing is that we're here. We understand that there's power in knowledge, and then we're willing to use the power that we have received as the gift. Because, everybody got a different gift. Now, I mean, come on now, what did Kendrick just do? I mean, but, but Obama said that between Kendrick and Drake, there was no competition because he was listening to Kendrick. And,
hmm
and I listened to Kanye West too, and he's very intelligent, but he was just
hmm
crying out in pain. How could we be here in the year of 2024 and still pretend that we make no difference? Because we do. And so, but it's your
people
belief
work
in
for
yourself,
validation.
huh?
Yeah, people looking for validation,
I mean,
and
but you
don't get
can't,
that
you have to
validation.
validate through who you are and through what you have accomplished and not been afraid to try because did it work for you or did it not work for you?
Well, see, that is a subjective measure. I've done some productions that did not make a dime. I
But
think
guess
it was
what? They
success,
wasn't for the
but
dime. They was for the building. That was for the knowledge. That was for the capacity to reproduce again. Because what didn't work might work the next time. You know that song? We fall down, but we get up. You know it, right? 'Cause the
no, I don't.
Savior's just
Yeah,
a
I
sinner
heard that.
who fell down and got up. Look for it.
Yeah, okay.
I'll find it.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll find
Right.
it.
if we have enough time.
We fall
Mhm.
down.
I
Echo.
appreciate you talking to my
We
son and
fall
give
down.
him an objective of,
It's just we're doing the same thing, but our children can't hear us. Pharaoh's coming in the room, I think, because Pharaoh's a young man too, and he's about my kid's age. Good morning, Pharaoh.
Yeah, I'm 36 years old.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
good
Hello.
morning.
I'm just a young man here to be a sponge and soak up all the knowledge and insight you guys have.
Oh
I
yeah.
have young insight. I'm a very young mind and heart, and the young people admire and love me. So I have great insight on the youth and the young adult community.
hmm
Good,
That's
good.
great. They need it. It's so easy for these young people to get misguided, and sometimes making a mistake can cost somebody for such a long time.
Oh,
And
it just takes
Uh,
one moment. I mean, that's a moment in time that you never can rethread. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like you're in the room, and then which way do you go? And if you make the wrong choice, you got to sow the seed to get back to where you were. Why?
yeah,
Because you didn't pay attention. Now here's this song, and we don't own the music rights. So you guys do know that every time we do something as a people, then they try to limit what we can do and working together to build capacity. That is their number one thing that they want to do, is to limit our ability to work together. As I come wherever one or more gathered has always been a problem. But
It's
we have
not
to change
supposed
who
to.
we are, huh?
It's not supposed to be. We're supposed to be able to lean on someone. They help you up.
Yes,
Go
and
down
but
stuff
you
by
do know
yourself.
that the universe will prepare you and lead you to where you need to be. You just have to be open enough to hear it.
That's why I think that I'm supposed to be where I am today, but
Of
except
course.
not really.
Huh?
No, I turned 71 the other
Well,
day last
well,
week.
happy birthday, because you're a Cancer just like me. My birthday was June 30th. And
Is
then,
that right?
yeah,
My father's stepfather's birthday was June 30th.
and then my
Step
cousin's birthday was July 1, right? But my kids are all Taurus the Bulls. And my mother was a Taurus too, which made a big difference. Oh, Lord, it really did. I mean, but when you understand the signs and the seasons, I mean, there are just times where we have to give more than what we want to give, but it doesn't really matter because it's us. And whatever the gift you were given is a part of your storehouse, and it is what you're expected to get because it's not money. It never been the money. But what can you give of yourself? A lot of people can't give nothing, and you do know that, right? Mm-hmm. And we're
I, su-
blessed, huh?
I suppose some people cannot give nothing, but that's why I like your persistence in what you do, because you are applauding your gift and people applaud you.
Well, I mean, I think that, we just need to build capacity. So when we build beyond what they're doing, right? Because they've always controlled the narrative. And whenever we were together, I mean, it was always about shh. But whenever they do something criminal, you can't see. Well, you have to say, "Oh, who did that?" And then and it had to be somebody white. But when we were overseas, they used to they showed their face, but they put a black mark against their eyes so you couldn't see who they were. You couldn't identify them. But we know that Emmett Till, he still died. We also know that we haven't been able to address that issue in America because he was just a kid. We don't want to end up
Yeah,
in those situations.
I think they found that woman in Kentucky,
But
and
they
they
know
have,
who she is.
yeah,
They just
chose
couldn't.
not to prosecute her.
It's choice. They chose not to. So So understand me when I'm saying we're living in the greatest nation in the world. We're in the entertainment capital of the world, and we are the harvest. So goddamn, understand, as long as they are parading our people in front of us, we can't afford to participate, and they're not.
Have you heard?
Huh?
Have you heard Nina Simone's "Goddamn the Pusher Man"?
Oh yeah. And
Yeah,
and we need to push more of those songs out because that was way back when, and she was saying it's just like what is it, Hattie? What the woman who went to jail for for trying to vote or trying to organize the Black Democrats. I mean, come on now, we understand the cost of awakening, and we're willing to run the risk because we know that we've been protected too by the shield because it could have went
that's
wrong
the best
any
way
day.
to be.
Huh?
Yeah, that's the best way to be. Go for it. I said, look, if life is set up that when I came in this world, I got all kind of challenges. I go through my life, I got all kind of challenges. So
But you're not holding
eventually,
on
I'm
to
going to be
those
challenged.
challenges. I'm saying you
I
learn
know it.
from them.
What I'm right. What I'm saying is, if I'm supporting what you're saying, because if at the end of the day, if I'm just going to end up going down, I'm gonna go down for something. I'm not going down because I was born into an equation that was tough. I'll go down because I chose to advocate.
I mean, but
If
so
that's
at
what
the
it is.
area, I mean, because you're educated, you know what I'm saying? You have a lot of knowledge, which brings a lot more power to the table. than others. And so you just have to make sure that wherever area you're working is where you're supposed to be because that's where your knowledge is. And using that knowledge as leverage, huh?
I understand what you're saying, but I mean,
My
you're
sister
saying
tells
that,
me
hey,
my sister tells me I'm talking above people's head all the time.
well, I think she might have a point, and she probably does.
Yes, she probably does.
Yeah, for me, it's like it always baffled me. People like, well, like in a job interview, they're like, well, what would your ideal job be? What industry do you want to work in? I'm like, that is a bizarre question to me. For one, I'm in a small town in Kentucky, so the industries don't exist, or they used to not. And you're telling me that I actually have a choice? That I can actually choose? I don't have to just take what I can get?
Of course.
But I'm
I mean, but that's
sometimes
that's what I'm
overthinking.
trying to tell you. Of course you can, because you can create the industry wherever you are based on your level of
Yeah.
skills and based on your knowledge. Nothing
Well, you're
but.
right about that, but that's very difficult, Darlene.
Listen, darling,
For
do
some
you
people.
have any at-home job?
Yeah,
At-home job?
okay, let me explain because, after my workers' comp injury in 1997, they put me on Social Security. I was grateful because, it really was an injury based on a work environment. And so now I understand to the level of the injury and what they made a decision on. But my son was born with a neurological, developmental problem because chemicals are real. And so just that fact that I was able to go back to through the whole educational process with my children. And I know that so many families, so many black parents don't have the time or the money to protect their children while they are, you know what I'm saying, working and trying to make sure that they're surviving. And so we just
Sorry
have
about that.
it's okay. We just have to make sure that our feet get to the table when we're talking about the development of our people since 1859 or 1858, whenever they
Okay,
want to say, huh?
listen, I'd like to know, do you know any black investors that would invest in an idea?
Well,
What do you
that's why I
say?
said that, the NAACP is having their national conference here. And they had one in Chicago too. But wherever they have them, wherever we are
Angel
having,
investor.
well, I mean, that Claude Alexander, I mean, he talks all the time, but then you just have to listen to uh, Dr. Carr and Karen Hunter. They have conversations too, and they're bringing people to the table. And I'm saying when we learn how to work together, because I mean, black people have a lot of money. Let's not pretend. And if we could get 10 of them to give $10 a month to learn to get to where we are, people are willing. They smoke weed every day. They can come up. If they can really come up, we need to understand that we can give them an opportunity to come up and just have them join in on the conversation. Even $1 for your dream. If you had 100 dreamers giving you $1 a month, that's $100 a month from 100 people. But if you had 10, now think about how they think about us and know that we are the harvest. And we've always
Right.
been because
But
we
that
are
to
just,
me is we are money that we can spend, or
yes.
we are labor that someone can allocate.
Yeah,
That's
but when you change your mindset, I mean, there are people that, my son, he was doing like logos, and there are people that just do logos, and you just pay your money and you get the logo. You don't have to have,
yeah,
you don't need that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's really down to our basic needs, and we need to know how to work the game because the game don't wait.
yeah, I know. Look, darling, it's so funny. You
Now it
say
is. You can
you got
laugh,
the answer.
huh?
It's like I can laugh, but it's like a carrot. It's like the dangling carrot,
Yeah.
and it's right there. But the good news for me is that there's the carrot, and if I run towards it, I'm probably just going to be better off. I'm
I mean,
probably
but the
not
whole thing is
going to
that
get
you're
that
learning
carrot.
how to manage what it is that you've learned, and all you have had over the years is a level of skill sets that could take helping other people get to where they need to get. That's what you always
Sure.
done. Now you need to help yourself get to where you need to get. That's why I told my
Exactly.
son this morning, and he was talking about, I tell him, Plant Based Daddy is his website.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I say, you need to just promote yourself 10 minutes a day, helping people
Right.
rear their children, because these people
Yeah.
are killing their children.
That's good
They don't
advice.
know shit, huh?
That's good advice that you gave him.
I'm trying to, but but you got to understand too, what we lack is what? Confidence. Because nobody ever
Yeah.
gave us that. Nobody gave us that
But it,
confidence, and nobody,
so
they,
Any mother that would kill
Can
her
y'all hear
child.
me?
yes. Did you say
Hello?
something? We're listening,
Oh, okay, okay. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
but you have to say something first.
what I'm saying is you gave him good advice,
That's
but
part
it's
of the reason
not
we don't have
necessarily the
confidence.
easiest thing to do. It can be difficult. Like if you write a book, you go do what
Yeah,
you need to
what,
do to get it designed and you get the product. It can be tough to sit down and market
hello?
it too. So you did the right thing by telling him that. And I'm wishing him the best.
Me too. But Pharaoh, confidence comes from your ability to see yourself moving in the right direction. That's where it comes
Mm-hmm.
from.
Yeah, I
Did
agree.
say, Dan? That's what I gave my son the number.
Say that again.
Oh, my mom was saying she liked the name
Oh, Pharaoh.
for a long time. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But we have to understand that, they gave us something to pay attention to. They gave us cartoon characters. They gave us Superman. They gave us the famous Mr. Ed, the Green Hornet. I can't tell you where I have not been, but I do know that we're in the Matrix. So when you start to put away and wake up, they see you right away. And that girl, she wrote that book, but god dang, she did write it, didn't she? And we are
Well,
now,
yeah.
just now, after all these years, we wasn't paying attention, even when she did it, and even when we watched it several times, we didn't pay attention. But now you can feel it. The moment you go off and say something where you might engage two or three people, somebody's saying, "Wait a minute, something's happening over there."
Yeah.
Or the moment you have a mental episode, a mental breakdown, tell the kids that school is a drug hospital and that they're making me look like a nigga right now. I'm not a nigga. We're family.
But
They
that's your
assassinated my character.
perception, Pharaoh. That's where you're coming from because that's what you feel and you're expressing your feelings and they can control you with self-expression.
Well,
And they didn't like it because the students had a riot 3 days later. The students felt what I said. The students knew I believed in them. And that's why
Yeah,
they came to my
but you
defense.
have to understand how you rear children too, because you don't have children. Then all I'm saying is that what you have a right to do and what you should be doing is to nurture them, no matter what, regardless of if we're living in this dysfunctional thing. You cannot give them lack of hope. It's key in nurturing people and ensuring them that there is something on the other side. And
Hmm.
well, that's
it's there
massive.
if you can weather the storm. Because when I first met, say your name, I know it.
Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison. Harrison, it's like a last name, but when I first met Harrison, he was playing the games with the locals, the local law enforcement. But you were
Yeah.
playing a game, and I'm trying to understand what you were doing. You
Oh my
understand?
goodness.
Because that's
I'll
your
tell you
freedom.
that I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
It was my freedom, but from the comfort of my porch, I could say
But
things, but
it wasn't your freedom because you were jeopardizing yourself. And anytime you put yourself in
that's
jeopardy,
right.
that's exactly what they're going to do. It's because they're going to play the
Hey,
game better than you.
you're right. And I was having pretty much a mental breakdown.
And
I
I've
was
told,
confounded.
but I told Farrell the same thing. He's over there playing games with the network administrators. I said, those are people you don't play with because they can push it on you that you can't get on.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be careful.
Hmm.
But listen, you had said, I was really taken back because you said, who are you going to be in 2023? And I wasn't in the right mindset at that time anyway, but I was like, boom, I don't know, but
But you're so
whatever I was doing,
intelligent.
I was wrong about.
But you're
That doesn't mean
intelligent,
anything.
Harrison. Harrison, you're
Yeah,
very
what
intelligent.
that
I could
means,
hear it.
how
I
about
could hear it. But hopelessness,
eccentric,
it's hopelessness.
unbounded.
Hopelessness, you have to have hope. That's in the Bible. You have to
Yeah, I
have
know it
faith.
is.
That's in the
Yeah,
Bible.
it is.
You have to have
But see,
forgiveness.
it's a lot
That's
of
in the
patience
Bible.
involved. You're right about all this.
All those
But
things
I'm telling
you don't have to be connected to a building to understand that the universe is within you and your spirit is in you and your church is in you. Everything is in you. Choice.
you,
Choice.
I'll be wrong. When it comes down to personal philosophies, I had seen so many negative things. I'm sure we all have,
You may
but
have
I
seen
come
them,
up
but
with some personal
that's a road you're
convictions.
not going to go down.
You're right about that. And it was wrong that I sat and tried to convince myself that the wrong was right. And I just try to purge that out of myself. Really, I prayed against it for a
Well,
long
because
time.
but you sit up there and watch your television, and I could watch the television too. And then I could say, oh, that was sick. And then I'm saying, why am I watching that? Because I need to kill some hours or a lot of time and get away from what's really happening, because what's happening out here is that they don't want to hear us. They don't want to know anything about us as a people. They've just been harvesting our people forever. And so now, because of COVID, and we could be ever so grateful that COVID happened, because now we can just look at the data and say, excuse me, the data demonstrates what it demonstrates, and the data doesn't lie. So we can hold them accountable for what they've been doing. And it's just a mere conversation. They just need to explain themselves. You can,
Yeah, it's a never ending explanation.
isn't
You
it?
can get them every time.
I'm sure there's all these excuses as to the possibilities of the lack of outcomes, but guess what? From my pocket to yours, bullshit.
Right.
Because they're still taking from us as a people. And I'm saying, as long as this is the entertainment capital of the world, and we are, bing, 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 human capital, understand that it is your responsibility to just say, excuse me, but I just need to know what the offer of free and appropriate actually looks like, because these people over here don't seem to be making it. That's it. That's
Yeah,
all you're saying.
it's a right.
He or she that controls the money and entertainment runs the world. If you control entertainment,
But
Yeah,
no. You can't think of it that simple,
I like that idea.
because people give, the gifts are given and they're not from you. The universe gave that person that gift. Now, what is expected? To whom much is given, much is expected. But we have to have an expectation out of what their gifts were intended, because it is our population of people that are being steered wrong.
yeah, but what controls people's expectations? Entertainment is what controls people's
Positive
expectations and
outcomes.
beliefs.
I mean, if you have something
Listen.
that you can believe in that happened for you,
Hmm.
that was good in your growing up, but if you don't, then you have to
Yeah.
look for what is the gifts are in life and what makes you feel good, because you're nurturing what you need to know. What makes you feel good is what's relevant to you.
See, when I talked to you about developing some convictions, it was part of that conviction about how the media and entertainment is a powerful tool and it can
Isn't it?
control people.
I mean, but
Yes,
It
and
literally
Michael
step
Vick.
controls
we need
people.
to
That's
step
what it
away
literally
from that.
I
controls
mean, but
people
come
like
on now,
puppets.
Michael Vick. What did Michael Vick actually do? But then this black woman, she hit her dog with a skillet or something and killed the dog. Now she's on. I mean, but she got some anger management problems. I mean, but she killed the dog, so now
Yeah,
she's in jail. But come on now,
it
the
depends on how
white
the
man,
media
those
presents it to
white
you.
people that shot 92 bullets into that black man, and they were justified in doing it because he was holding a rifle. Come on now. We are just the harvest. We need to stand up, and perhaps we need to say what she needs, some
But,
mental health support.
but
Hmm.
That's what she
yeah,
needs.
but what? But it goes back. Please let me finish what I was saying. But it's you have to understand that what do young people and people in general glorify? They glorify entertainers and con artists.
Okay.
And until you change the entertainment that controls and programs them, you're not going to see sustainable change or outcomes. It'll
No,
just be
I
a
don't have to
band-aid.
change
So you
anything.
have to do something.
People have to change what they want in life. And you know, the best change maker is the universe, because the universe is not going to let you pretend. All those places that are being burned down to the ground, that's not a pretense. All those floods and all the negative that we have no control, that's not pretense. You will change your behavior. You will, because you're not in control. Look and see what's happening.
I understand that. It does make a lot of sense that to try to control the media and try to control people, I just feel so in line with that opportunity.
The game
But,
has changed.
it isn't the way to go. I understand and I accept that
But I mean,
because
but
it's really
people are
preposterous
fishing every day. Now
to think I can do it.
people have to find something that's relevant, and
Right.
they have to accept the trials and tribulations. If it's working for you, more blessings. But if it's not working for you, pay attention, because there is a better way.
Yes. And that's I know that I've seen things that hasn't worked for me. But nothing really has. All I know is I don't want to be a liability to myself. With my philosophy, if I have this mass media control agenda personally, that is foul conversation to people who are trying to do business day by day. There
I
are
mean, but
many people who
just
are going
understand
to jump on that boat.
what's happened over time is that the narrative has
I've
changed.
isolated myself
No,
through some of my philosophy.
perhaps, but 2 years ago, everybody was making a little bit of change on Spotify, on Anchor, and everybody was making a little bit of change on Wisdom, and perhaps there were some other apps out there that were paying. But 2 years ago, they stopped that shit, and then they changed the game. Everybody had to do a certain thing or have to have a certain this in order to continue to participate. I chose not to participate over there on Noom. I didn't follow that because they wanted so much from the other sites, but you can still share in riding the wave. You first must understand that it does exist, and it's only going to be what the universe is trying to bring, which is
It's a safe way to go. And I'm
basic.
telling you what, I'd rather go along with that than go along with my unfounded, very hurt, very damaged disposition and point of view. That
Well, you
is
gotta let
not
go.
okay.
You gotta let go.
Yeah, I gotta let go. It's just, listen, Darlene, if I were to succeed in life, of course I'm going to help out some kids. Of course I'm going to help some wayward people. But I can't live, I haven't been living my life day by day as if that's something I want to do. But
Well,
of
I mean,
course I would,
we all
but
have to
you know,
participate.
it's hard for me to go with the crowd. It's a
I mean,
personality
but
flaw
see, and
that I
that's
got.
how they get us. That's how they get us, because divide and conquer. But you have to understand that it is not limiting to your own understanding.
Yeah.
And when we come to the table, then we could discuss what they've been discussing about our people forever, because they just need more money to bring more support to our community, because we don't know what we're doing. Seriously.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, because if
Yeah.
we're not discussing the data, then who the fuck is? Because somebody is. Period. And they just need more money
Yeah.
to help the poor people out. But I'm not poor. And I'm not broken either. I know exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah.
We all need to wake up. Because in the year of 2424, when you got somebody running around the White House who used to be Presidente, who brought his wife over here, but then he wants in all of the, no, there'll be no more people coming in here saying just because they was born here they become American. Well, I'm just saying, what makes you an American? That is my question.
Exactly.
You have to.
I mean, anybody can be an American at any given
Can
time.
they?
I mean, as far as what I understand.
Can they? Because they don't feel the same way you
Yes,
do.
certainly.
I mean, people come from other
Well,
countries have different perceptions as to what it
yeah.
is, because they think that you're spoiled, they think that you're lazy, they think that you're shiftless, and what are you doing when you don't know shit
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about me?
no, people in general.
Oh.
Don't take it personal. because we're just looking at our people
Yeah.
and saying,
Yeah,
okay,
and they probably do think
but
that.
it's
I was
not,
just
it's just
really
not
talking
our
about
people.
immigration.
The people who have made policies for the Native American people, and they ain't making it here either. They're not. But
Yeah, I heard.
they have been willing to what? Be good community partners. We just have people here who ain't gonna be good community partners. To think that they're just they're supposed to have everything because they figured out how to come in and steal. And it's your problem that you didn't understand that they was taking.
Exactly. What a mess.
But we let this go on because every 10 years we have the census. Every 10 years we count the number of people
I'm
who move.
telling you,
Huh?
darling, you are right. I am wrong, and I know that.
I
I'm
mean, but the
wrong as
whole
a
thing
person.
is that how you were raised in education skipped massive parts of everything. You just jumped and leaped around and said the Pledge of Allegiance and got out of high school and didn't know nothing. Then you went
Right.
back to school, and then you decided to make an area of expertise for yourself. Now you come out with this expertise. Well, where are you going to put it towards? I mean, God has blessed you, and you could create a product and just run on your own.
Well, darling, that is possible, but
Yeah,
because
but
like
it's better to
you
listen
were
to
talking about some other
these
issues
people.
that other men have, and I got issues, and I really don't trust myself to be able to make a lot of money. I'm in a very strange position in my hometown. My hometown and community has targeted me and my family like you have never seen.
Oh, because you're
Nobody should have
making
to
sense. Oh,
experience
no,
life
I
like
get
that.
it. Oh, no.
It's over now because I fought that battle for about 10 or 15 years.
You
And I
had to
fought the
stand
battle
up.
every time.
A
But I'm
closed
still going
mouth
to end
can't.
up saying I'm
That's
wrong.
what I said. A closed mouth can't get fed.
Right. Well, things did change, but, I need to open my mouth up and try to do some business. But it causes me a cognitive apprehension because I'm used to
Slowly
the,
empower people. Slowly help people get to the
right.
next step. And I said, subscribe. Didn't I say that word? Because that's the
Yeah.
game they're playing right now. Because
Yeah.
Microsoft went to subscription base. They don't want to sell you the whole Office product anymore when they can get you to subscribe for $3.95 a month forever.
Right. That's very interesting. I wonder how banks look at subscription versus revenue.
You have to fight anytime you try to trade something and they slap it and start charging you right away when they said you had a time frame of canceling. They have control of your money as soon as you give it to them. As soon as you let them into your bank account, you can't do that shit. Because they want you to subscribe. Why do you think that I didn't move towards subscription? At first I did, and I thought about it. Because I got sick and tired of them just taking money out of my account, fucking me over, because immediately I would miss a bill or a bill date, and then I wouldn't have the money. So that's why, they're offering me all these debt solutions right now. But I don't want to give up 2 of the credit cards that I would have to give up that I'm surviving on right now. I just need a job. But I don't need a job. More than what I need to do is awaken people, because we're moving towards this election, and we still have people saying, oh, girl, get away from me with that shit. I don't do politics. And I'm saying, are you serious? Or don't you pay taxes? I mean,
It's so funny.
but you are paying. We're paying the salaries of these people who will not talk to you, and who are over your children, because we live under this compulsory rule of public law that says you will attend or we will come and take your children. And here in Las Vegas, they have a 48% population of Negro children in the foster care system. And every time I go to Costco, I swear to God, these motherfuckers are older than me with a baby wrapped around their neck, and they be black, dark black. Enough is enough. Because it's a harvest, and they just simply give themselves $50,000 scholarships or awards, or the kinship money is so much here. And you could have up to 14, you could have up to 14, you could have up to 14 and be white and have a house and run it. So are we running the plantation or what? Because
Sounds
what?
like it.
Because because what? Locally, we're not paying attention to what they're doing. We're actually helping them. Because at the age of 11, they've got this thing called habitual disciplinary problem. I don't know how they got it with IDEA and all the special education laws that are required when you take the federal money. But you can do whatever you want to do when you take the federal money, as long as no one challenges you.
Yeah,
Period. We
that's funny.
we have
I just think about
flexibility. That's the
getting people
truth.
in an administrative process. I don't want to be subjected to administrative review, but neither do others either.
But guess what? They don't have
What?
to, because George Bush said unless the people living in that community choose to stand up and object, the federal government is not going to get involved until COVID hit. And then they saw that they were really abusing these people with no knowledge, sending them thousands of miles away from their families at such a young age. And they said, if you don't clean that shit up, we're going to sue you in court. That's what they said. So now we're hearing real meetings talking about the data. And I can't wait for the next one because it's going to be
I'm
funny
telling you, seen Las Vegas, and they seem to have changed their
too.
tune
Of
about
course.
federal guidance and
Of course,
compliance
because
after you
you
started
don't
talking about
understand. I don't know
it.
shit.
I heard,
Yeah.
you know, that's it. I got to say you're right, and I'm gonna keep chasing that carrot for sure. It's the best thing I can do, and just try to overcome whatever roadblocks I've put in front of myself.
Because
Because nobody has done nothing to stop me. I
you're doing
probably
it to
stop myself
yourself.
every day.
Exactly. Every day you say, oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Mhm.
Or you
Yeah,
don't know what the consequence, but the mere fact that you have the tools to look forward and understand what the consequence may be, and then take a trial run.
I don't like I don't know if I like the sounds of that.
I mean, but it is a trial run.
Consequences.
It is a trial run every day.
Yeah, it's a trial run, but I mean, some stuff gets real. Like if I put in a legal case on somebody or a
No,
state
because
institution,
then you take it down to the person, and they can come back at you. I mean, you could talk
that's
about
what
the
I'm saying. I
process.
got something going on right now,
You need to be
and
careful because you only expose yourself when you're trying to bring somebody else down that might be criminal. Because they might be criminal, but if you don't got enough money to fight that battle, then you have to know every loophole that they went in so you can pull them out of it.
well,
And so you need
I
to slow your roll. You just need to slow down.
I understand what you're saying,
I know you do.
and the problem is I have a problem with something that wasn't right. There was a process that happened and it wasn't right, and now they're saying some money is owed. I said, well, let's go ahead and resolve this in a court because I don't think y'all were reasonable. Let's try to get some reasonability to it. But some people take court action as an act of war,
Oh yeah, they've
and
got to
they'll
because
say
they
it's
have
not
to because if they let you win, then they're really screwed, especially if they were doing something unethical. So you have to take the morality of whatever they were doing and how they got to you in the first place, and you have to file an appeal. What is that? CBP, that
right.
Consumer Protection Bureau, and then you have to have them look at it. But then did you know that there's an Office of Civil Rights, that OIG, the Office of Inspector General. Now they can have a complaint there too, and they go through the list of different types of complaints that it can be, and then you could
Like I was
order.
telling you at the beginning of this conversation, Darlene.
Hmm?
If Look, I was telling you, and this is a very bad attitude to have. I said, well, I would go down for something. I would go down fighting for something that was legit. Why would it be that I have to go down? Because I don't.
Because there are
Here's the
people
thing.
out there that just enjoy winning until you screw it up for them.
Right. Well, if
Period.
I'm not
I mean,
winning,
because if you're the only one that is objecting, they want to know what your fucking problem is, and what do you know
right.
that they don't know?
Yeah. I don't know
You understand what
nothing
I'm saying?
except
Because you
you
could
talk
know
about,
you could
I'm
know the.
intelligent. Half of that might be delusional.
No,
Shoot,
no, it's
whatever
not
the heck I might
delusional
be
because
thinking.
no, it's not because my dad told me you research everything. So you going down to the codes, the law codes, the federal codes that deal with transportation, that deal with roads, that deal with everything. There
Yeah.
is a federal process in which we got
Mm.
there and how we came to the conclusion or the solution that all children are mandated to go to public school within territories. They choose the ages because the people get to choose the age that they want to educate. Some people don't have an end age, but some people say 21. Some people say 26. I mean, but so that's why I said compulsory law. I thought that people should know what it was. So then I could go in there and go to usa.gov and type in compulsory law. And then it come up to the page and then I can let the computer read it. This is a fantastic reader.
Yeah.
And then we can
That's
talk
great.
about it. I mean, but the whole thing is you need to understand that every state is different in this nation. Each one, reach one, teach one. But just because a
Yeah,
state is
definitely.
doing it doesn't mean that they are solely correct in what they're doing. They figured a way to make it work for them and screw you.
Right.
Because
Well, something I
if you're not willing to stand up and fight, you get nothing. But if your parents didn't do that for you, that's kind of like that's trials and tribulation. That's generational curse. It is a
Yeah.
generational curse because one day you still have to wake up and they have to understand that we have to participate in this world and we have to act just like they do. We have to figure it out. It is our responsibility to figure it out. How come we can't do it? Happening? What are our
the
barriers?
biggest generational curse is the lack of intergenerational wealth we have as a black community.
Oh no, there's money.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It's a
no, no.
challenge.
You just need to understand there are black people who have been so wealthy, and there are black people that have been so gifted. I mean, it's a black man that made the refrigerator. Why? Black man that made the street light. Come on now. What black people have not, the cotton gin. What
But they
black
hide
people have.
that
I mean, but
information.
they're never going to allow you to benefit because you is not willing to stand up and be heard because of the consequences befell us in the past. We know what it feels like but we still have to get up.
Yeah.
We still have to
I
get up.
mean, people got different challenges, like it's funny little situation. Somebody I met and they said, well, I'll tell you what. They said, your mom did a great job raising you.
She did.
My mom didn't raise me.
Hmm.
My
She
mama
had
did.
you.
I
You
might
came out of the
up until
DNA.
I was 18 years old, I might have been
You
with my
got
mom for
her
about maybe 3
DNA,
years.
and I don't care. And you
Oh yeah.
know the apple can't roll
Oh,
far
I
from the
know.
tree, and that's just the way
That's
it
right.
is.
That is the way that it is.
It is.
But the reason I mention that is because talking about some blacks have it and some don't. Some people have
There
been through some
were rich
challenges.
black people, wealthy, that owned slaves during slavery. So let's just really talk about the house in the field. Let's not pretend we don't know shit. We
Oh, are
know.
you serious? There are rich black people
Yes.
that own slaves?
Yes, I mean, but you got
Oh
to do
shit! I
your
think my
own
family
research.
did that.
There were always blacks that owned slaves. There were always blacks that had money. There
Yeah.
were rich black Europeans. I mean, let's just pretend that we woke up and this is 2024. Why should you be any different from anybody else?
You wouldn't necessarily want to be. The easiest thing to do is say, "Oh, woe is me. I got these kind of problems," and that's the easiest
And
thing to do.
excuse
And I tell,
yourself because you what? Don't know?
I mean, it's terrible.
No, but no,
I can
because
tell
we have
myself
Google.
awful things.
Google shares everything with you that you even think you might want to know.
Yeah.
And AI
Yeah.
is
That's
coming. AI
crazy.
then came to the table, and AI can write your goddamn book. AI can do whatever you tell AI to do, and they are terrified that AI is
Yeah.
here.
See, and here's the problem with me because I'm back to this media control thing. And I think it's kind of a problem that everybody gets to wake up and see everything on the internet. I think that makes people unhappy.
Well, that's
And if
just
we
their. I
can,
mean, too bad. I mean, because we're here too.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
well, that's the problem, Darlene. But it doesn't have to be too bad. If we can get customized, tailored media solutions that are individualized to people,
But that's what people
then
are doing, customizing media solution and tailoring things so that they
right,
can make
they are.
money ahead of the ahead of the rest of the
Well,
crowd.
one of the biggest problems that me and my mom talk about with the new news media and the new news cycle is it's me TV. You can find validation for whatever deluded opinion or delusion of grandeur you have. You can find a supporter. You can find a chat room for it.
But it
And so you
doesn't
think it's
mean that
real.
it's the correct way. It has
No,
to
it's
be
not.
working.
I'm just
It
saying
has
that
to be
it's
working for you.
misinformation.
Irregardless, you will be pulled down the right path if it's the benefit and the way you're supposed to go.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. And I hope that these little kids who are in trouble in their life, I hope that they can be pulled in the right direction. Because it doesn't have to go like that. All it takes is for you to make one mistake and you got a scarlet letter for the next 7 years.
I mean,
But, you know,
that's
there
true.
are
Just
good
look
people
at
in the
Henry
world.
Ruggs. I mean, when you understand Henry Ruggs and the story of his life, $6.7 million at the age of 22, playing football. They got that child from Oakland and brought him to Vegas and gave him that money and allowed him to buy a sports car. And in the middle of the night, he wasn't forced to work with any bodyguards or whatever. And he's on the street. And so his attitude cast a check his ass couldn't carry.
Yeah.
And now he's in lockup for 3 years. But white people are really pissed. They might not let him come back simply because his behavior got him in that situation. And he killed a white woman. I mean, she wasn't white, but she was Mexican, and her dog. The mere fact that he killed a dog, he may never come back. Look at Michael Vick.
Honestly, and Michael Vick even goes back to the whole entertainment aspect
Michael
of
Vick
it.
wasn't doing the dogs. I mean, his people were at his house. But honestly, because we, the people, just don't do politics.
Well, let's talk
You did not graduate high school thinking about how you were going to go into the field of political, grandeur. But white people do, and their kids do too. They are born into it, and they show up when they need to show up.
My family actually is very political. My dad was a fundraiser for the Republican Party in the
all
80s.
need to. I'm saying it's a need
My
that we
cousin
all
was,
need to do.
when I was vice president of the student body at Nevada State College,
nice.
I inspired a black movement. I got a black president. I got Paisha Swanson to run. She was a black senator. It was a black movement when I was there. There was a lot of black people on the student government because I was going classroom to classroom telling them, hey, I'm running for vice president and you could join the student government too. And I would tell them I had a football team.
But you understand that we still don't have the movement. It didn't last.
It's very effective like that.
Yeah, that's the work you have to do. Consistent.
Yeah, I know some of the top people in Nevada because I was on the student government. I know I know college presidents because of student government. I know
you can demonstrate that you've been in that circle. I'm saying you have to float in that circle.
Right.
Well, that's why I'm taking my knowledge and starting a community government.
I'm glad that you got that experience.
I'm starting a community government, and it has salaries. Our salaries for the young people that work for us are $40,000 to $50,000 they have set aside for them. The adults that mentor the young people get paid $40,000. Our salary budget is $40,000. Overall, the whole program. I'm making it happen. I'm going to go to the library today and print it out, the last pages of my proposal out. Then I'm going to start.
I think somebody will fund it.
I know somebody will. I presented my business to Nevada System of Higher Education when I was vice president. I presented my organization, Real Education Matters, to the Nevada System of Higher Education. And they were very impressed. And they loved my energy and enthusiasm. And I have it on video. Everything I've ever done is on video. I am the Truman Show. I don't know if you've seen that, but I'm the Truman Show. Everything I've done, everything I say, everything I brag or talk about. Huh?
Yes, I've seen the Truman Show, and I know what you're talking about, and that's good.
Yeah. So, my whole life has literally been on. The first time I was on TV officially was at 16 years old. I was on Poker Dome challenging the audience. Then when I was 18 years old, I got expelled from school and it was all over the news, and I was on the news for that. I got the school district sued for $150 million. Then I left. Then when I graduated at Opportunity School and I went to college and became a teacher, they fired me as a teacher and it was on the news and it went viral in the school district and all the kids were talking about it. They're like, I know him. He was my teacher. He was so fun. He was so cool. I went viral. Like, They use me as an example. They make an example of me on the news all the time. So yeah, that's why I say controlling the media is probably the most important thing, because
Right.
if you're a rapper, you're going to die by the time you're 25 to 30 at a 51% death rate. That is the highest death rate for any musical genre. If you listen to country, jazz, or blues music, you'll probably die in your 60s to 70s, but you'll probably have a heart disease, cancer, or I forget the other one. If you listen to rock music or punk rock music or metal, you'll probably die by suicide at a 30% rate.
Yeah.
So if you listen to heavy metal or rock music, you're going to die from suicide. If you listen to rap or hip hop, you're going to die by homicide at a 51% rate. That's all of the entertainment industry. That's what all these kids look up to as entertainers. And these entertainers don't know what the hell they're doing. They're puppets.
But why
Exactly.
would they?
They're absolute puppets.
I'm just trying to understand why would they? Because you just said it. They came in the game with a gift, and that's all
Yeah.
they have. Some people develop that gift beyond that and utilize their elevation in a positive manner. But the blessing goes to those who are willing to take the chance and step out there. If you have a gift, then
That's
you
what
need
they
to
say,
be,
Darlene.
huh?
But like, if I were to put myself out here, say politically or something like that, I've grown up in this little town I live in. Somebody could
Where do you live,
crawl out
sir?
the woodworks and say anything about me, and it's not
Where do
worth
you
it.
live, brother?
I live in Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Oh my
We are
goodness,
a
what's that
growing
like?
town. What is that like? It is like 88. No, it's like 88 white people for every 12 black people, or 7 black people out of 100. That's what it's like.
Okay, so 12% black population.
Well, one of the local community college registrars said it's actually 7%.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You
That's
do
what
know
it's
the
like.
black population in America has been 13% ever since it started. It never goes up, never goes down.
Yeah,
But all the
that's
other races flourish. All the other races flourish. But our race always stays at 13%. 13 is a cursed number last time I checked.
well, they want it like that. Somebody's
They have
keeping
us
it
killing
like that.
ourselves. If we got the Crips and the Bloods organized and got them to work together and stop killing each other, we could take over America, because we kill ourselves even more than white people kill us. Or that's what they want us to think. You know, you have to fact check everything you
Sounds about right.
read.
These parties and all this chaos is going on, and these young women doing the twerking. I mean, these are people that are lost. They don't even participate in sustainability or sustainable options for their.
No, they don't.
We have,
But there's such a reward in it.
yeah,
You know, if I can come out here and mislead some people and get paid, then I might just want to be misleading people for a career.
I mean, but that.
Well, I was speaking with the mayor of Henderson, Andy Hafen. I was speaking with the mayor of Henderson, Andy Hafen, and I told him, I said, when I was student body president, I don't realize it, but I sold my soul. I sold out on the students that elected me. I got elected by telling them I'll stop budget cuts, and then I'll make sure tuition doesn't get raised. And then the dark side, the devil, lured me.
But did you have a plan? Did you have a plan? Or were you just talking now?
You said what?
I said, did you have a plan? How did you plan on making that happen?
Well, I was going to budget cuts. I was going to budget cut fights, and I was going to meetings. I was meeting with officials. I was meeting with the Board of Regents.
I understand, but I'm listening to what Nevada actually does, and I don't understand how they do anything, because they just use the money and they're not providing real services for the people.
Well, the fact of the matter is, what I told Mayor Andy Hafen, Mayor of Henderson, Andy Hafen, former Mayor of Henderson, what I told him is that the chancellor of the Board of Regents, the chancellor is who runs all 8 colleges in Nevada. There's 8 colleges in Nevada, and the chancellor is who runs all of them. The chancellor actually worked for Stations Casinos. He was a spy for Stations Casinos. They want people going to jail.
Listen.
They want people going to jail, or they don't want you truly educated. He was stealing money from the Nevada system of higher education and funneling it into the Stations Casinos. He got caught. When he got caught, all the students were sad, and they were like, "Oh my God, why are they doing this to him? He couldn't have done that."
Laws that they don't punish people like that. And
You said what?
they've written laws that when they run out of money, they just run out of money and don't providing services. So they've already covered their ass. It's the people that have to determine enough is enough.
All
And
right,
that's just real.
all right, all right,
Well, the way
Darlene.
you do that, people have to start going to the meetings monthly. Like people have to start protesting at the meetings. Letting the
They can do that.
They got to read because the laws
They can
are
do
not
it.
never changed. None of the federal
well,
regulations have changed, and that's how come right now they're having a problem because they're having to answer and respond to questions that they've never had to do that because they had all this flexibility, and the federal government will give you flexibility. So that's what they do. But when they're asking you for real shit, you better have it.
I mean, that's right. You come and you ask people questions. They'll stay there. They'll answer your questions. Then they'll go home to their nice little house and nice little salary. But, you know, being under public question, you could lose that public position, I guess.
You can't. I mean, there's no guarantee. I mean, the federal regulations are the federal regulations, and it's just regulatory guidance. But you have flexibility, but nothing changes the obligation to the responsibility for the bottom line data. Let's hope they have it. And
I
they
hope
won't.
they will. I don't, you know, it's hard for me because ethics and morals, all this stuff is good. It's just, you know, I continue to isolate
Well, they want
myself
you. I mean,
in
even the
philosophy.
governor got elected here with the ethics violations, and then they're coming after that black woman for what she's saying about how she believes blacks are treated and because she's a judge, the district attorney didn't want to hear her personal opinions, and quite frankly, everybody has a right to have a personal opinion. You know that, and so the deal is that what we're going to tolerate is we're not tolerating no data anymore. We're not tolerating zero access or the inability to have equal access. They're just going to have to get it together. That's not my
well,
problem.
also another problem is they censor our facts. Their facts are only true if they censor ours, and what they do is censor our facts and
You're saying they
voices.
censor, and I'm saying they're violating my freedom of speech. Period.
Yeah,
You can't tell me
me and
what.
you are both in Facebook jail right now. Is that a
Oh, you got a
coincidence?
Facebook jail too? Oh, yeah.
I've been in Facebook jail I'm in Facebook jail until August 1st.
Oh well, they
I
got
don't
you
even
for a
know what it
long
was that I
time.
posted that got me in jail this time. I don't think it was outrageous. Now, sometimes I do post outrageous shit that I'm like, okay, you got me. But this one, I don't even think it was outrageous. I think I posted something about a church event coming up or something. And
If they don't want you to share, then they will lock you out. And I'm telling you, no one has the right to force you. And it's like the Matrix. When you start to wake up, then they start to get busy.
But listen, Darlene,
my whole life.
I lean to
So
my
when I was at Nevada State College,
I can only
it could
talk
get
to
me in
one
trouble.
person at a time. Harrison, what'd you
Yeah,
say?
go ahead, Farewell.
Go ahead,
I
Farrell.
was going to say, you won't believe. So you like the Matrix analogy. I love using that analogy all the time. People, goes over my mom's head. But Agent Smith, do you remember Agent Smith from the Matrix?
No,
I
I
do.
didn't get that deep. Give me
I
that.
have dealt with Agent Smiths my whole life. They admire and glorify me from a distance, and then they get to know me, and I start to share some of my eccentric point of views, and then they turn into Agent Smith like real quick and turn on me. Maybe they won't. Some of them will.
People, and I'm telling you, you can't get to the people level. We have to rise above the individual level and understand that we're just dealing with policies that have been implemented that bring harm.
Well, I'm sure you're right. Because, like I said, the way I see it, I can't win. I can't come out and sue every municipality. You know, I mean, it's not applicable. But all I know is the way that I try to resolve
All
problems
you're
is
saying
very
is
high risk.
policy that has been implemented is very damaging and is bringing harm to certain people. You have to be able to. Did you listen to that attorney that was describing racism and disproportionality and impact and everything? He broke down how to talk about when a policy's been created that brings harm. Did you listen to him? Huh?
Well, I'm sure that's helpful.
Well, when
to get that.
I go back in there, I'll send you his website. But
Yeah.
I took screenshots of what he was saying because it made sense to me. And we have to work from where things make sense because they don't always.
Well, yeah, I know, darling. But what works for somebody else and what makes sense to somebody else might be completely different for somebody who came from a
And it's
different life.
supposed to because I'm telling you, because you went through your journey, but you got specific skills through your journey that I didn't get.
I understand that, but I'm also extremely high risk to myself, and other people aren't
Oh, because
necessarily.
everybody has weaknesses. Let's not play into the weaknesses.
Yeah, yeah.
I surround
Just
myself with
because you
people.
might drink, but you're not gonna get drunk and go behind the wheel. There's certain
Right.
things you're not gonna do because you know right from wrong.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, I know right from wrong. For a while, I did not. There was a time I did not, and
Well, but aren't you
I made
grateful?
decisions.
Like I said, you come into a part of your life where you're feeling obligated and you're feeling responsible and you're feeling loved and nurtured and
Well,
forgiving
that's what
too.
you think.
Forgiving, you're
That's what
feeling
you think.
forgiving because
Well, I gotta forgive myself. I gotta forgive the police officer that gave me trouble. I gotta forgive the state. I gotta forgive everybody. But
One
I don't know, Darlene. What you said, there were some assumptions, and I don't know if I agree. I got sidetracked.
yeah.
I don't know if I.
Because it's not your journey, it's mine. I've never been in
Right.
situations where I've had law enforcement on me, but
Well, good. Nobody
but,
should.
but they did.
Because you had better sense than that, Darlene.
Oh
That's
no,
what.
one
no,
was
no! I don't
funny.
never. No, my mom used to beat me all the time, and I do mean I was beaten. Till you see the welts come up and the little blood come out of the big pores, and they'd be bleeding, and but she apologized before she died, and she just said that she made wrong decisions, but she didn't know no better, and that's true. You only do what you know how to do. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. When you're faced with the challenge, you have to make the decision that makes more sense to you.
Exactly. But then the way I see things, I'm wrong. Because the only way I know how to resolve certain issues is through maybe filing a complaint through a legal process or something like that. Then look what I'm bringing
Those are
upon
skill
myself.
set. That's a skill set that you've learned.
As long as it does not expose me to tearing myself down, and ruining myself because I'm suing somebody.
But I told you, you also have to have people like-minded that have a desire to achieve some of the things that you would like to achieve. And I said, you've got to begin. Just like my sister keeps telling me, I've got to start the work. You've got to start the work, and people who are willing to do what it is, the level of work that you're doing. It's just breaking it down, making it make sense.
Right.
For
You're right. At the end of the day, any type of little problems I have, it's because I haven't done what I need to do every second of every day.
yeah,
Every
my
time
sister
I
tells me
feel
that
some
shit all
way,
the time. You're not the only one. I'm getting
yeah.
my lesson too.
Ha. Well,
Every
good for you.
yeah. But we still have to do the work. Nothing takes away our obligation to do the level of engagement that we have to do to bring people along because it's the work that must be done. And it's just in a way, I have to go back to you keep telling me that's relevant or, my friend Nehemiah tells me that's key. How many 3-year-olds are enrolled in the Early Start program? Because that was a direction straight from the Department of Health and Human Services from the Biden-Harris administration, and which states chose to do the work and which states chose to ignore that obligation of personal obligation of responsibility to bring equity and access to all people. Where are we? If we weren't included in the
Look,
conversation, then we just need to get there.
you're giving some great advice. It's in some way, I know I got to put myself out there eventually, but if I could, Mom, what salad dressing you want? If I could, I would not put myself out there because there's way.
But there might be somebody that you could use, that you could utilize, that
Mm-hmm.
has the level of skill to ask that certain question. You don't have to do it for yourself. That's why God gave you
Exactly.
those,
I'm telling you, because it is not worth it to me to come out here and say, well, I'm Harrison Isom. I want to go to politics. I'm Harrison Isom. I have a new record. No way, man. I'd rather be Harrison Isom because I'm me. I don't want to be Harrison Isom for somebody else. And, that's a big challenge for me. I'm not here to be nobody's hero, man. For real.
No, but we
You
still
get down
have to answer the
these kids,
question. We have to answer the bottom question. Where are we since 18, whatever it was, that we had the Emancipation Proclamation?
Well, we are striving. We are crabs in a barrel half the time.
You're exactly right about the crabs in the barrel, but guess what I was so blessed to have happen? I
What?
moved away from the persecutors. I live in Henderson, the suburbs of Las Vegas. My mom saw me get expelled on the news, and she was like, I'm getting you out of this town right now. We moved to Henderson.
Smart.
I'm not around my friends that talk all the shit about me, that say that's not a business. It's not that's not a business. It's your hobby. It's not helping anyone. You're just wasting your time. All that negativity's in Las Vegas. In Henderson, they treat me like a king. I'm like a local celebrity.
Right.
A lot of people know me in Henderson. I'm very popular in Henderson. Vegas, they hate me. They idolize prophets in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
inspiring to me. Because
It's beautiful.
Get out and change the perception of your day and how you're perceived and received in your community just by moving. That's wonderful. Wow.
No, literally. There's 4 churches in Henderson. There's a Scientology church, there's a Mormon church, there's a Muslim church, and then of course there's a Christian church. I go to all 4 of them. They know me at all of them.
That's a smart move.
I can teach you about Scientology. I can teach you about the only church I haven't been a part of is Judaism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Those are the only 4 or 3. Everything else I've been a part of. When people said Mormons are weird or kooky, I'm like, I thought they were nice. I would go. When people said Scientology's a cult, I'm like, really? I'm like, let me do some investigating for myself. I always investigate for myself. I don't take people's opinions or their suggestion. I learn from them, but then I look for myself because surface level information isn't enough.
Right. The thing about, some religions is about the Jesus question. Do I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior? I just got a lot of questions because, first of all, Jesus did not want to die. He did not willingly die. He did not want to fight against that final persecution. He was like, fine, kill me, screw it. And they sold him out. So with the Christian church, they're saying, well, let's praise God all year. Then around Easter, Jesus is going to die and he's going to rise again. But let's recognize that he did not willingly die for these people. They coerced him and they sold him out. So anybody that is operating on a premise of sacrificing their Savior, worshiping him all year, I am leery about people like that. But anyway, a lot of people don't understand that much.
Well, something else we have to understand, we are living out the Bible every day. People don't understand that.
Yeah.
The Tower of Babel is very real. So why was I the most popular kid in high school? I had the most beautiful girlfriend in high school. Everyone loved me in high school. I was glorified. Through parties, everyone came to them. Then I graduate high school. Everyone goes their separate way for about 5 to 10 years. And then I'm still trying to be Mr. Cool like in high school. But what the Tower of Babel is we all speak different languages now. Yeah, when we were in high school, everyone spoke my language, the language that I created. But now that we've grown up, you've gone to the army, you've gone to a casino, you've gone to you speak a different language. So when I say certain things, it's not hip or cool. It's like, that is kiddie-like, or it's not cool anymore. That's the Tower of Babel happening currently. It happens all the time. The Bible repeats itself throughout our lives all the time.
Yeah, it does. And it's a masterful book. I was sitting down with some Mormons within the last month. We were reading the book, their book, and it is really masterful how that book was put together. It's very easy to read.
It's ecclesiastical. Its ecclesiastical structure is amazing. The Mormon church, I was a part of that for 7 years. They finally kicked me out after 7 years. And because of that, I was in the sunken place. I actually went back to a mental health hospital.
Yeah.
I was in a mental health hospital when they kicked me out of the church. I had a mental breakdown because I lost that support system. But guess what? Darlene did for me. Darlene brought me out of the sunken place that they had me in. Because of the church, I thought I couldn't run my business without their support or approval. But Darlene made me realize you're out of the box now. Do what you need to do. Get out of this sunken place. These churches program us to hate ourselves and to discipline and to, I don't want to say beat ourselves, but it's a mental thing that these churches do. And that's one of the entertainment in churches, I think, is one of the biggest problems for the division in our world. Jesus literally said, I came with a sword, not to unite, but to divide. But people overlook that verse all the time.
That's funny. But man, it was really a very interesting experience for me. Everybody, it's good for business to be a Christian. I'm reading a book on the summary of Catholic principles that the Pope mandated that all the bishops read in 2005. So I'm reading the summary, the catechism of the Catholic Church, so that I can do business better with Catholic people. So I'm saying Christianity is good for business.
Let me open your eyes for a real quick second.
Yeah.
Do you watch Star Wars?
No.
Okay, well, I'll break it down for you real quick. So in the beginning of Star Wars, everybody's favorite scrolling text, it says, millions of years ago in a galaxy far, far away, there was a galaxy and there was an embargo. There was a block on trade for the certain federation. Now I'm going to bring this movie to reality real quick. There isn't a modern day embargo and block on trade. And that block is on black owned businesses and Muslim owned businesses. If you are a black or a Muslim owned business, you're not going to get the support you need in America. They do not have the funds. They do not want to support your church or support your business if you're black. And I have facts that back up all the things that I say. I mean, literally, just go through history. Redlining, housing authority. Were we a part of the Housing Act when they created the suburbs? Were black people getting money?
They're just trying to support themselves, and that's what I'm trying to ask. They only want to support themselves. Why would they?
But it's out of fear.
Yeah, because they don't want to lose what they've managed to covet.
It's all out of fear. They're afraid that we're going to do what they've done to us to them. And it's funny. People talk about 400 years of slavery in America. How about the 1400 years of slavery under the Muslims? How about that? Right. And the Muslims didn't have nice plantations for us. The Muslims had us dying like animals. They didn't care about rights or health at all. The Muslims are killing us off horribly.
But
I'm glad that you recognize
that's where we're living right now, because like I said, when they just shot that man at him 25 bullets, they shot him at 25 times they shot at him. And I'm saying, okay, that was too much. And then to be banned from the app because I said it was too much. It's real. We all need to understand what we're saying and what we're doing and what we're allowing to happen to our people, because it's something that's been allowed.
Why? But why?
Because
I understand.
Because we remember.
That's a wonderful privilege.
You remember and you could recall, because Malcolm, Martin, Medgar, you could just go down and because they've been able to control us by remembering and recalling where we've been over time. It's just real.
Yeah, look, the world needs people like you. But this is a problem I have personally. But see, I don't think that I'm here to save anybody. I don't think it's my job to lead people in the right direction either.
But you have to ask yourself, where have we been as a people, and why aren't we there? And who's in the house?
Right.
When you get there, who's there? Who?
Yeah, we can answer these questions. We can answer that.
We can. That's how we're talking. We're talking right now. Because if we
literally
don't that it's us, it's always.
I don't know why. I've got a desire to not be a part of this communal effort of trying to.
We were trained that way. You have to understand that's where we're supposed to be. Do you hear yourself?
Well, I understand that. if somebody would treat me fairly and
I mean, but why
compensate
would you
me
expect
as a
something
team
fair if
member,
you haven't participated in the process of creating this level of fairness and what you see as being fair? Help me
because
with
I
it.
ain't had nothing, Darlene. I
Huh?
ain't never had nothing.
Me neither. Where am I going to get
I
it from? But
disagree with
see,
that.
but guess what? I see that they have
No.
it. They have it. They have
Well,
it.
look, I don't know what to say. It's all a risk, right? It's a risk. It's an investment for me to say, well, I'm going to align myself with the popular opinion. Therefore, people think favorably of me. That's in my best interest.
But how is a popular opinion? Help me with that. I mean, but what's popular
Okay,
about any of it?
you have a popular opinion, and I'm sure you have some controversial ones too. But the popular opinion saying, hey, we need to lead our youth in the right direction. We need to represent for the rest of our black people so everybody gets something. That's a great idea.
No, I'm
But
saying that they've always been there, and they're making sure what? They're making sure that their children have access in the
you're
house.
right about that.
And
That's very important.
and guess what? The system is just a system. Public education has never changed. But there were things that we were there at one time. And Thurgood Marshall said, never leave our children unattended to. We just put them in the public school system and stop attending to them. And then when you show up, they double down on redirecting you on what you can direct your children to or
Darlene,
not.
Well,
I'm glad you
so
got that reference. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
so I want to share a very how to say this. I come from a very unique background for most black people. My dad was a multi-millionaire. My mom was a cover girl model. My dad owned nightclubs. They used to hang out with Eddie Murphy, all these celebrities. My uncle Clarence, he used to play with Ray Charles on the Chitlin circuit.
Yeah.
So I come from an entertainment family. My uncle Tim, he has celebrity chefs at his house, all these things. And I'm not saying this stuff to brag, but I'm just saying this to say that I grew up with a different perspective. You guys said you never had anything when you grew up. I had everything a kid could dream of.
I'm glad
And so,
I'm glad.
no, and there's a
I've
point
had
to
that
this.
experience.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. And it's really beautiful because, and something I realized the other day, my dad was the only one that was ever really happy or proud for me my whole life. I've had all these cheerleaders, these fans, all these supporters. My mom takes me wherever I need, but I realized the other day my dad was the only one that was truly happy and proud for me. My mom helps me and do stuff out of me out of love and kind of feeling like she kind of has to. But I noticed that even my mom has resentment against me sometimes. Resentment is blind jealousy. And so I have to deal with that a lot. People are jealous of me
But it
blindly.
doesn't matter because you can't come and take a perspective of what other people see or say about you because then you're owning it. I don't own any of that. And I don't spend my time where other people do. I'm not shopping in their grocery cart. I'm shopping in my own. And so what I know how to produce is out of the box thinking. It is independently a personal obligation to step up. Nothing changes the fact that what I'm saying is all 3-year-olds were supposed to be enrolled in a public option by 2024, but when it didn't happen, the people didn't come together and say that they had a problem with it. I have a problem with it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so because the law is the law and how they get there is not my effing problem. My problem is
the system is set up for us to fail.
No, I don't care about the system. The system's set up and we just have to say something about it because pimping ain't easy and goddamn, they've mastered it. And I'm not trying to be in the mastery of whatever they're thinking. Because the data
Peace and
doesn't
male
lie.
power, pimp.
Huh?
I said peace and male power, pimp.
I don't know. I'm just saying the bottom line is that every state was given the same instruction. By 2024, period, all 3-year-olds will be enrolled in a federal educational program. But the mere fact that there's law under Child Fine, and it talks about compulsory laws and responsibility and the guidance to the states. And when they're not making it, then you need new asses in the seat.
So
Yeah.
So in finishing with the point that I was gonna make, so I was gonna say, so like,
We still need to
But
get
what the point I was gonna make, so I had so some of the resources kids don't have, but they probably need tutors. Anytime I was struggling in school, my dad always got me a
That's
tutor.
great that you
Anytime
know
I
the
was
things
interested
that
in
work,
something,
and I'm saying that we're not there to talk about what's working, what's not, because it's not working. Maybe tutors are awesome, but I'm saying when you look at the local school site, how many people are there to have a conversation about what's really not working? Because so many people are being affected every day. So the conversation is ours. We just need to choose to have it.
I think both of you all have a great point. I am sitting here uh, wanting to have a breakthrough and get past this individualistic standpoint that I take. It's hard for me to go
ooh,
with the
that was
crowd.
deep. Individualistic standpoint.
Yeah,
I like
it's not
that.
necessarily okay. It can be detrimental to my future and my how people perceive me, which is extremely important. And
Yeah.
the fact that I think that my experience in life, that likely out of hundreds of millions of people, hardly anybody has experienced this. And I understand we all have experienced a completely unique circumstance. That makes me think that how can I have the same point of view or the same morals as people who have had a completely different experience than me?
Because your
You
skin
know,
is still black.
who?
Skin is still black, no matter what.
Exactly. But it was a lot of blacks who was hating on me. I mean, we share
Those are
the
my
fact
biggest
that we have
haters.
been discriminated against at
Yeah,
large
honey,
and
but the
marginalized.
whole thing is that you are you. And you
Exactly.
understand the house and the field mentality, and so do I. And you know that people have been propped there for many years and they ain't doing shit except for enjoying and basking in the sun. And I'm saying the throne has gone away. That's all I'm saying. We got to
Yeah.
think about what.
I guess I was just crying out to tell you guys that, you know, because I'm going to have to conclude. I've got to go to the courthouse and file a court motion so I can get in front of the judge. Paper talks, but my voice and my presence is going to explain a lot more than I can put in a stack of
Right,
paper.
and you need to understand that there may be some people that you can put your argument for before you get to the judge. You need to figure out if they have support like
You're
that in
right.
the courthouse. You figure it out.
Well, yeah, that's
They
excellent. I would
have
like to know that.
workshops. They have workshops that you can go to, depending upon what you're trying to accomplish. You need to find out as much as you need to know about the one targeted concept ideal that you're looking for, and figure out if they have some mentors up in there that will monitor, that will support you, because we all have rights. You need to understand what rights we have the right to.
Exactly. We got a lot more rights to even know.
Well, I mean, because you didn't know you had any rights, and then you started your journey, and now you're in the middle. But I'm saying,
Yes, it's Cardi B, but Nevada needs to. I mean,
So,
okay.
yeah. Look,
But
I am going
great
to.
figuring it out. Let me know what you come up with.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know how it turns out
Yes.
later.
It's not going to happen today in the first place. You have to
You don't
approach
think it's gonna happen?
not immediately. Who's sitting up
No.
there just waiting for you?
Listen, is that in my best interest? Are
an
these people?
ex-Mormon, then you may qualify
I
for
don't even know if
thousands of
they're gonna even
dollars in
talk to
settlement
me.
money.
I can
Recently,
do
a
research,
California Superior Court made a groundbreaking decision,
but I know
awarding a
you're right.
significant
So
settlement to a
we'll
woman
check
for
it out.
years
I'll
of
talk to
harmful
y'all later.
sexual abuse. At 39 years old, Linda faced her past in a legal battle against.
What are you playing?
Who, me?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Oh, I was. Yeah, that was between y'all two. Let me duck on out.
I'll check you later,
If I can get it.
Harrison.
Hey, kick me out of here, Darlene, if I can't take myself out.
Okay. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Auntie.
Yeah, you were playing something. I don't know what California. I don't know what Nevada needs, but everything.
You're not in Nevada anymore?
Oh no, I'm still here in Nevada. No, I was hearing what you were playing something. You can hear everything that's in the room.
There's a cup. We are willfully ignorant today. That's another problem. People think it's cool to be dumb. And that's what J. Edgar Hoover said he wanted to do when he was over the FBI.
Well, maybe so. I mean, but nothing says that you have to fall into the trap. But, if the trap is yours, you set the stage, you set the standard, and then you follow up. And that's just real. And what's working for you is great, but what's not working for you, you do need to redirect. Yep. And that's just you. Because you're the only one in charge of that ship over there, not me.
Well, today I print off my donor, what is it? I forget what it's called. Whatever. The in found or the in donation. I forget whatever. I have a letter to thank people that donated, and then I'm finishing. After that's done, I'm creating the introduction letter for new businesses, and then I'm gonna start going out.
Before you name it, you look and see some examples of in-kind donations and read about it before you do it. Okay?
I've been reading about it. In-kind donations. I do research. What I do normally is I do research on 2 to 3 sites, and then I start taking the best things from each site and create my own version of a letter.
That's a good thing right there.
Yeah, so that's how I usually do things. I usually research 2 to 3 sites. Sometimes more because sometimes it's not good information. But I look through multiple sites and I take the best information from multiple sites and create one solid piece of work.
Just remember this, no matter what's happened in our past, we're not where we should be in the future. And we need to be moving towards a better future for our people.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Okay.
Just be glad that you've had somebody pouring some love into you.
Be glad for you?
No, for you, for yourself.
I'm glad that I finally forgave myself and all the people I had anger against. That really helped me.
You really can't hang on to that because it's only destroying you.
Yeah,
that's my
exactly. They're not even thinking about you anymore. You're giving all this time to this person negatively, and it's like that person's not even thinking about you or like, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I don't care because I'm not there for them. I'm there for us as a people. Now, you see, that's my son's book. He has the whole book. I put that one there.
I'm looking. I know your son wrote a book. Thanks for yours.
Yep.
Where is it? Shaka Sun?
Yep, Shaka Sun.
Plant-based recipes the whole family will enjoy. I like that.
That live. The one that says live.
Wow. Plant-based daddy. Wow. And you know another thing that I think agrees with some of the stuff you say and your point of view. Like honestly, like I said, I'm not killing anybody. I'm just revealing the truth. The fact of the matter is, black people aren't ignorant and dumb like they try to make us think. It's just they focus on that section of the population. There's a lot of rich, wealthy black people in America. A lot of them.
They don't want to. They don't want to get.
They don't want what?
Get involved.
Who doesn't want to get involved?
People in the hole.
Oh, people in the hole?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. They're too comfortable. I kept telling my mom, comfort is the enemy of progress. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said, Mom, 10 to 12 years ago, I was trying to teach you about the frog in a pot analogy. That you put a frog in a hot pot, you set a frog in a hot pot, and you boil the water with him in there, he will die because he won't try to get out until it's too late. And so I told my mom that. She goes, she's like, I'm a happy slave. I was like, being a slave, you shouldn't be happy. She's like, no, I'm a happy slave. I don't care. My mom is miserable today. And I told her, I said, Mom, you're the frog in the pot now. 10 years ago, you were happy being a slave. 10 years later, you fucking hate it. You're the frog in the pot. That's what's happening to America. Science. You gotta connect science. You gotta merge science and God. I liked how that guy said that.
Yeah, we've been listening to some relevant shit lately. And I'm happy to share.
Very relevant shit. I love the stuff you send me. It's very positive, and I'm excited to start getting back out in the community again after I finish these in-kind donation letters and introduction letters. Then I'm gonna start going door to door, and I'm gonna start walking to businesses like, hey, be myself, just be me.
Been there
No,
before. You know what it's like. You've been there.
yeah,
You know what it's like.
you're exactly right. I'm not doing anything new. I'm just reinforcing what I've done and solidifying, creating a more solid foundation.
Yeah. There, I was singing my son's book. He did that book. All right.
What are your plans today?
Well, I have to do some things.
Okay.
I don't know. Every day I have things to do, but at least it's nice and cool in my home. And what is the 22nd coming up? Well, did you hear me when I said the NAACP is having a workshop?
I was so excited to hear that, but I didn't know if we could go or not. I started to text you.
No, I don't know if you can go, but you can just call the number. I'm going to send it to you. And
I'm really good at sneaking into places because people think I'm
no, you
important
don't
because of
have,
how I
you don't have to
dress.
sneak in. You just have to tell them, ask them to let you come in. Okay. Serious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got into a federal event. I got to go to a Trump rally because of my nonprofit. I told them that I have a nonprofit that represents the student vote, and they let me in to a federal event, all because of my nonprofit.
There's always free scholarships and free entrance into, because it's for the people and you're part of the people. And not all of us have money at the same time. Now I sent you the phone number to call and talk about.
Oh, you sent it to me? Yeah, I want to go to that. That'd be nice.
I texted to you. All right. So,
okay, cool.
Well, I'm going to say thanks for dropping in. And I've been on here 1 hour and 51 minutes. I'm about to go. But
wow, it was a great meeting. I hope you have the best day ever, and I love you, appreciate you, and thank you.
I'm just telling you to get more people in the room so we can start the discussion, because it is our discussion. And regardless of what you were managed to do by yourself, we have to figure out how we work together. You understand? Right? You understand?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You doing it and all that you know, all that you've been exposed to, awesome, but still didn't make a difference. We're still living here where nothing is making a difference. So we've got to make something change. Change is relevant, right? Change is relevant. Change is relevant.
Oh, relevant, yeah.
Real.
Well, that's what helped get Obama elected, change.
I mean, no, we had hope. We did.
A New Hope. That's one of my movies. So I'm recreating Star Wars movies, Black-owned Star Wars, and we'll be doing A New Hope.
I've been watching the Star Trek, the cartoon series. No, see, I could sit.
I never got into Star Trek.
Well, you can watch the cartoon one. It's interesting because you can't what you can't watch is all the negative shit, because it's just too real life. It's too real life, and then you get caught up in trying to figure out what sick thing will happen next, because there's somebody's sick mind that's creating that shit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I want you to really understand. I want you to pull out of that concept and thought and know that you only have to control over what happens to you in a day. And like I said, I have much work to do. I know I could sort clothes and get ready to wash some clothes. Oh my goodness.
Do your thing, Auntie. I appreciate and love you, okay? Have a great.
Good evening, good evening. Hey, it's evening time here. No, not really. It's only 3:28 in the afternoon on July the 18th of 2024. And what can I say about America? As I have found that in America, status and perhaps making a choice to live your best life, as Snoop would say, makes a difference. And who are you in the year of 2024? I promise you, you don't know what I know. And as you do not know what I have been fortunate to understand, as freedom has never been free in America, there's always been a consequence to choices. What that looks like, well, for the black man, it looks rather like failing to the compliance of a demand from a person who may have an 8th grade education, as that is a minimum requirement, high school diploma. And in the state of California, they certainly decided to do what? They chose not to implement the high school exit exam. And I want to tell you that in the year of, I'm going to have to put this on the what you call, because we're going to have to do this. Okay. So in the year of whenever my 27-year-old graduated high school, he graduated with a one-on-one aid, a laptop, and above proficient. But he passed the high school exit exam. And honestly, I can say that every challenge we faced, it was all about him understanding the process. So what I don't understand in the year of 2024, as an American citizen, as I call myself, Citizen Anderson, and what I don't understand is how we have not been given the ability to participate or partake in public participation. And so many people just choose not to get involved. Oh, girl, I don't do politics. Are you talking politics? And I'm saying, okay. I still don't get it because we all pay taxes, and those taxes come back to local communities to provide public services. Yet and still, when you cannot measure, something is not right in there, but I didn't catch it in time. The deal is that you can only be and be on the journey if it is yours. Step right on up. Because if it's not yours, no matter what place you take, you're just there to be a roadblock. And as we are only people, what's happening around you? So many people are failing to thrive. Thrive with Kaiser. And then, of course, they have Molina Health, and they have all of these organizations, even West Ed. West Ed is attempting to support Nevada in doing what? And first of all, they needed to get all of their trainees out there. And I don't know how the school sites are going to get them because they don't train people here in Nevada. You see, this public participation thing comes with people being a part of the system, participating, learning that they too can share their voice. And these apps are awesome. And you can have some hand clapping. But the deal is that drum roll, please. And see, an exciting app. in America when the narrative has just changed? And who's leading the game? If it's not going to be you, who have you chosen to follow? As I have chosen to lead, it is difficult to follow, but I am willing to listen, listen. But the challenge will always be, who is willing to engage? As the revolution would have never been televised, and we are slowly awakening. But when the southern states would like to rename their schools after their fallen war heroes, it is so iconic because we are the American people. All around me, there are more Americans. And perhaps we would choose not to stand and deliver. But what do when you don't know what to do anymore and you are at your max? And I am totally maxed out. Because I'm not a organization kind of person. I am a hard worker. I said I am a hard worker. Period. There we go. I'm going to chill for a second. I'm going to share my room somewhere. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh, I walked across the street. Oh my goodness. Hey, Farrell. What's going on? 36-year-old lifetime philanthropist. How about you? I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's real. You didn't go to the NAACP convention, but it's online. You should check it in. Check it out. You can go back and watch it. Ben Crump, I understand, was there. I missed him on that day because I was supposed to go see Biden. And did I share you? I was live streaming from that event. I'm sending it to you just a minute. Me. Somebody got the rain. This is it, I think. Oh no, that's not what I was trying to do. I want to share it. I have to go up here in the corner. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to share it. Tired today is what I am. But I do have an interview on Monday, and I sent you the link. Did you get it? Because they're now advertising again. Just checking to see if you received that link. And other than that, nothing else is really going on. I was just chilling because it is raining. It's just kind of that kind of day. I'm wondering what else you can really share out here. Let me see. Oh, just photos. That's it. That's what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about the journey in life. I was going to talk about choice because we all make choices. And from whatever direction we are going, we are responsible for those choices, and we will have to live to do or undo whatever direction we're going in based on our journey. And that is based on the gift of life. It's raining hard. I'm going to chill for a second. goodness. So here we are, living in the year of 2024. And the obligation to participate in the process is just real. However, we have established this awesome process of rewarding people for educational experiences. It is unfortunate that so many people who look like us have not been given a job to make anything happen. So all of that investment for the education is a reality, an investment. So as we, as, oh, what's happening? Okay, I have to see it. Okay. As we awaken, as the revolution was never going to be televised, and people can see that perhaps they won't have the same jobs that they used to have, overseeing your behavior. As what is public education anyway? It's a modification of human behavior. But what is acceptable in the atmosphere out here where we live? It's like humid out here. Oh, I have an issue. Oh, wow. Something's not right. I have to take care of something. That's fun. Water in it. Oh, Lord. Do something about that one. You know what happened? difference. Okay, back. Had to figure it out. My fan stopped working. So I got another one. It was squealing for a minute. That was funny. In America, I often ask this question: who are we as Americans? What have we done? And then I realize we've done so much more than what you can imagine, as we are the entertainment capital of the world. African Americans, I mean, Sammy Davis, Stevie Wonder. I mean, just think about all the dynamic, Michael Jackson and Prince, and I mean, you just can go on and on, B.B. King and Bobby Blue Bland and everybody. And then understand the industry and how they survive on the harvest, as it is us, we the people. But they disallow people from coming into their communities, identifying with any issues other than strictly the music industry or the sports industry. What am I saying? Truly what I'm saying, that it just doesn't make a difference. If God gave you a gift, what is the mission? And what are you doing to accomplish it? As we can only sow the seeds, and hopefully not seeds of dissension. But we all know differences of opinions on the entitlement. Let me see what I'm putting here. It's going to be a most important time to pay attention to how Nevada is getting ready to document how they are spending the federal allocations. And it is a conversation, I promise you. As they understand what has happened here, perhaps they will be able to make corrections elsewhere. But life is about the regulatory guidance, and we understand that's where we're caught up, as Donald never wanted to follow any of the regulatory guidance, and that's how he got over. And it doesn't matter until it affects you. Because all that Medicaid money and Medi money and Medi-Cal money and all those guaranteed providers are going to have a problem if the Republican Party gets in office. And then, of course, we the people will also have a problem because our food benefits, our benefits are going to be in jeopardy. And life has always been about participation. If you engage in the process, then you win. But as we have all of these people of color going through the process and getting educated, and then there's no process for them to participate in after they get their little credentials. And I truly believe that you can just have choice, as choice is what you choose to do, and no one can force you to do anything. Understand that. But when you're doing it because you've chosen, whatever seeds you sowing is because you're choosing that direction. And what can I say? The message I'm sharing today is that of choice. As we all choose life, liberty, and justice. For who? So I'm waiting to see and watching to see the engagement of the human beings. Will they stand up for things that they've never had access to? Because it means that they have to do a little bit of work. And quite frankly, you only know what you want to know. And, there's a funny thing going on somewhere in one of these townships where there's a black mayor and she's following the regulatory guidance because she understands the game. And then for those people who had been doing it and getting away with everything, they're having a little problem with her because she's holding their feet to the fire. Get ready to get busy because that's what real life's about. And this thing about the broken system, it is just broken. And it's going to remain broken until we stand up to demand a level of accountability that perhaps these people have never seen. But guess what? It just doesn't matter. What matters is that you understand that there is a process which will be followed. And in the year of 2024, I say like, I say share, I say let's ride this wave together.
Uh-oh.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I'll say that's all, folks, because I'm tired. But it's been a long week, and next week I go for my job interview. And so I'm excited. And that's what I can say. I'm going to encourage everyone to understand that there is a pathway out of the nightmare to make yourself more relevant, to make accomplishments. But let's get on the train moving towards a direction of maintenance of effort to ensure adequacy happens for the least of us. Until we meet again, this is Citizen Anderson saying peace out. Y'all have a blessed day. Okay, I'm